They didn't need to scream at you. They never threatened you. They didn't even bother to explain themselves. And yet, look at you now. You changed. You learned when to keep quiet, when to apologize, when to make yourself smaller. You started reading their moods like you were forecasting the weather. Not because they ever asked, but because they trained you to do it. Today, I'm exposing how toxic people rewire you without ever saying a word. No long lectures, no obvious rules, just silence, tension, and the kind of consequences you don't forget. This isn't meant to motivate you. This is psychological exposure. If it makes you uncomfortable, that's good. That means it's cutting close to the truth. The training never looks like abuse. Toxic people rarely look toxic at first. They come across as calm, controlled, even a little mysterious. Never the source of drama. Always low maintenance. They don't yell. They just disappear. They don't argue. They punish you with silence. They don't correct you. They let you struggle to figure out what went wrong. You say something you think is harmless, and suddenly, the atmosphere shifts. The room turns cold. There's no explanation, no feedback, just an icy silence that leaves your mind racing. Your brain starts to panic. What did I do? What did I say? How do I fix this? That's when the real training begins. Because when we don't get answers, we invent them. And somehow, we always end up blaming ourselves. That's the dark truth. One that creeps in quietly and leaves a chill you can't shake. Silence is the whip. Silence is never just silence. In the hands of a toxic person, it becomes a weapon. The moment they go quiet, your whole body senses danger. You start replaying every conversation, rewriting your words in your head, desperately searching for what went wrong. Eventually, you adapt. You stop bringing up certain topics. You stop asking questions that might upset them. Piece by piece, you stop being fully yourself. And here's the chilling part. They never had to say a word. Your body learned the lesson for them. Every time I do this, I lose their connection. That's not just awkwardness. That's conditioning. The same method used to train animals, to control cult members, to break people down psychologically. No yelling, no threats, just silence and the slow, creeping loss of who you are. Reward is rare, and that's the point. Here's the twisted part. Sometimes they turn warm again. They smile. They joke. And suddenly it's as if nothing ever happened. no apology, no explanation. Just enough affection to make you question your own memory. This is how intermittent reinforcement works, the most powerful type of conditioning there is. You're left confused. You don't know what you did right, only that something must have worked. So you keep trying, harder, quieter, making yourself smaller every time. You end up obsessed with chasing a version of them that should have been there from the start. That's not love. That's a slot machine. And you're stuck pulling the lever, hoping this time you'll win. They train your body, not your mind. Here's what you need to know. Toxic people don't win you over with logic. They train your body to respond to them. Your heart beats faster when they walk into the room. Your stomach knots up before you even open your mouth. You study every little shift in their expression, always on the lookout for signs of danger. You end up knowing their moods better than your own. You feel anxious, even when everything seems fine. That's because your body has learned the hard lesson. Safety is unpredictable. And once your body learns that, your mind can't help but follow. You start calling it anxiety, overthinking, being too sensitive. But here's the dark truth. It's not a flaw. It's survival. Your body adapted to chaos, and now it's just trying to keep you safe. You become self-censoring. Eventually, they don't even need to lift a finger. You do the work for them. You stop bringing up problems. You let your boundaries fade. You hide your needs before they're even spoken. You start editing yourself in real time, whispering things like, "I'm probably overreacting. It's not a big deal." Or simply, "Never mind." That's their end game. Not control by force, but control by anticipation. You become so well trained that even if they vanish, the programming lingers. That's the darkest truth. Sometimes, the cage stays locked long after the door's been left open. Why it feels addictive. Here's the part nobody likes to admit. It's not just pain, it's addictive. When the connection is shaky, your brain works overtime trying to win it back. The rare moments of relief feel euphoric. A little affection feels like a reward you had to earn. Suddenly, what should be normal feels extraordinary. You start to mistake emotional whiplash for chemistry. You confuse anxiety with love. And when someone finally comes along who is steady and safe, they seem dull because your nervous system has gotten hooked on chaos. That's not romance. That's withdrawal. And it's a truth that's as chilling as it is real. How to break the training. You don't break this cycle just by understanding it. You break it by daring to defy it. You speak up, even when every instinct screams at you to stay quiet. You set boundaries without waiting for anyone's approval. You let the silence sit without rushing in to fix it. That deep discomfort you feel, that's just the old training trying to hold on. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means you're unlearning what was never yours to begin with. And yes, it feels like loss, because control always disguises itself as connection. That's the dark truth most people never want to face. If this felt personal, it's because someone taught you to carry the weight of other people's feelings. That wasn't weakness. It was adaptation. You did what you had to do to survive. But you don't have to keep living by someone else's rules. Silence only holds power over you when you're afraid of it. Now you see it for what it is. And that changes everything.